Hello, it's May, and we've got far more season-appropriate weather compared to last month. We're due a hell of a lot of rain in the coming week. Today's the last of the dry days, so I'm going to do as much as I can building these trusses, and see how far I can get. So I got through one, and then I ran out of bloody gas for welding. So I'm gonna lose an hour running into town replacing that, but can't dwell on it, gotta get it done. All right, back with a new bottle. I thought the old one would see us through, but I guess not. Well, at least we don't have to worry about it now. This should last for another year or so. So it looks like my crummy phone crashed, so I didn't record all of that. But I got all 6 done, so we've got all 6 to the flat stage now with all the gussets in. The next step's going to be cutting that flat bar into 200mm sections to make the feet. I need to cut all the legs to the same length, they're all long at the moment. So I'll just make sure they're all the same. And then I need to weld a little bit of 10mm flat bar, not flat bar, round bar, to the bottom of all those bits of flat. That just kind of sits in the gutter on the bus a little bit neater, a little softer on the gutter. Yeah, the weather's really turned. It's looking like it might rain. So everything's undercover, everything's packed away, and it's coming up to 5 o'clock. So good timing, really. And I'm gonna go and crack a cold one, I think. So as you can probably hear, it's raining a lot. It has been all night. It's supposed to clear up around about midday, so I've treated myself to a lazy Sunday morning. I've just been lying in bed with a coffee and reading, and it's been lovely. I definitely won't be able to do any more on the trusses. The whole site out there is like ankle deep, so that's not going to happen, which is fine. To be honest, I think I got further yesterday than I thought I would this weekend, so I'm quite happy either way. What I will do is jump on the backhoe and start having a look at making a site for a container. I don't think we'll get it anytime soon, but it'd be good to get the pad sorted. We're going to need somewhere to store our stuff while we're building the house. So I think today's going to be just like old times. Well, that's a little different, isn't it? So I've got enough space here to have the container kind of moved around. We've got quite a big area opened up. It's getting on a bit, so I'm not going to fire up the chainsaw now. Maybe that'll be a next week thing. Well, that's a fairly good start to the month. I do want to prioritise the roof, so let's hope we've got a dry weekend next weekend. But it's also good to have kind of backup projects on the go as well. Right, I've returned to a very soggy site. I think this is just how it's going to be from now on. Apparently it is set to clear up and it's supposed to remain dry for the rest of the weekend, so I'm just going to have to get back onto the trusses. I don't think we're going to see much in the way of sunshine from now on, so just have to work in the wet and try and keep it as clean and dry as I can. But while it's still soaked, I might look at installing this. I know, if there was a viable alternative, would have gone for that, but this is pretty much all we can get in terms of internet. I think what I'll do is maybe chuck it on the cabin and run it off our newly hooked up inverter. I came down last Monday because I forgot to close the vent on the bus. So I came down before work really early, and while I was here, I got all this hooked up just to make the trip worthwhile, and we've got mains in the cabin now, which is great. So I'll see if I can get power down there and into that, and maybe we'll have internet today. Imagine that. Alright, after much faffing, this is the best I can get from here. This won't be the actual location I'll put the dish, I guess you'd call it. That will go on the bus roof once that's finished, because we'll have a nice, clear, unobstructed view of the sky and a bit more choice in terms of the direction we can put it. At the moment, it's just on this side of the cabin because that's where I can get the cable in. But it's up and running, and 330 odd down, 46 up. That's bloody good. That's comparable, or if not a little bit better than what we've got at home. So yeah, worthwhile, and now we're online. Right, I've just tidied that up and can pack down on that job and have a look at what I want to do next. Kind of on the fence really. Weather's still not great. I can either carry on with the roofing, or I can have a look at dropping those trees that I picked out last week. I think I'll have some lunch and mull it over. Well, the clouds parted and the sky cleared up, so I guess that made the decision for me. I'm doing roof work. It's early afternoon, and I'll see how far I can get today with this. But I think any window of opportunity needs to be grabbed by the horns. Right, it's getting a bit late. Don't really want to run the generator anymore, so I'll call it there on this. Got all the feet made, they're ready to go on. So I'll pick it back up in the morning, carry on with this, hopefully if the weather's on our side. But for now, pack down and put my feet up, I think. Good morning. So it did rain a little bit overnight, nothing too heavy, but everything is wet, so I'm just going to have to spend a bit of time drying it all out. And then I'll start welding these feet onto the trusses. Something a little bit like that. I think I'll shift everything back about a foot or so they can all kind of shift back, but in terms of spacing, I think that's about right. So that's it, all spaced out a bit better. Not completely even, just because we're missing a bit of the gutter down one side, so it has to kind of be a little bit asymmetrical. But should be more than strong enough. The spans aren't too big. So yeah, the next step's going to be making the tabs for the battens, as well as making some way to actually clamp onto the gutter rail as well. So yeah, a bit more fab work to go just yet, but getting pretty close, I think, to getting this roofing on. I'll leave them up there. I don't think they're going anywhere. Hello, back for the third weekend. It was supposed to be hacking down with rain all weekend, but we've got a little bit of sunshine, so I'm going to take advantage of it. I think I've only got the morning, but I'm going to just get up on the roof, shuffle a couple of these trusses around until I'm happy with the positions, and I'll mark them, and then that'll be the kind of spacing I'm working to. At that point, everything comes off, and I'll try and get some of these brackets put onto the trusses, and then that's what the battens will attach to. Yeah, get started. We had a major downpour last night that kept me up, and the whole place is absolutely flooded. All dominoed over about 3 in the morning, which was pleasant. That's all 7 with the tabs on. The only thing left to do on these is the clamp for the gutter, and after that's done they can all get scrubbed down and painted. After that, get them on the roof and start putting it all together. So very close. Now I've got an aunt coming in from the UK next weekend, so we're not going to do any more work down here. We're too busy hanging out. Right, I lied. I've actually got a couple of hours before I need to get to the airport, so I thought I'd come down and look at how we get these clamps made for the trusses. I've got some threaded stud and some other little bits and pieces, and I think I've got a bit of a plan of how to do it. What I'm going to do is get one of the trusses up on the roof, get it in situ, and then have a little offer up with a few things to see if what I'm envisioning is the right course of action. Yeah, something a little like that. Should be more than enough to hold all this together. Feels very stable. Well, I'm happy with this approach. It feels really rigid, really solid, and it locates down onto the gutter really well as well. So yeah, I think that's the way to go. So just got to do the same for the rest. Should be probably a day's work to get all them done, and then they will come off, get scrubbed down, all the rust cleared off them, and they get painted. And I probably want to leave them for at least a week to cure before they go on the roof. Anyway, I'll get this down, give it a spray of primer, and get going to the airport. And we're back for the last weekend, taking full advantage of this sunshine. Going to try and get as much of this last bit of fab work done as I can. All right, get stuck in. So I actually don't have enough of the threaded bar to do all of this. When I bought that, I was intending on just having one on each side, and now I've got 2, of course, doubled up the amount I need. So I'm a little bit short on that, but that's the only thing missing. I'll just do what I can with everything that I've got to hand, and then tonight I think I'll go home, pick up the remainder, and then see if I can carry on tomorrow if there's a window of good weather. Right, that's everything prepped and degalved, so I can start putting these together, and then they get a once over with the wire wheel, and then they should be good for paint. Okay, that's all of them done, but I don't really have anywhere I can paint them. I think I'm just going to have to get them out of the rain, keep them dry, and then just jump on the opportunity to paint them if one presents itself. It's getting on a bit, and it's just going to start tipping down, so I think I'm going to pack it all up actually and call it there. We'll have to see whether I'll come back tomorrow to see if it's worth the trip, if I can actually do anything. Okay, I'm now back for the last day of May, and although we had a hell of a lot of rain last night, apparently it's going to stay dry for the rest of today, which is good. It's quite windy, it's quite cold, but it shouldn't stop me doing what I need to do. What I think I'm going to start with is getting the gazebo frame up, and then I'll string all those little brackets up from that, get them primed, maybe even get them painted today, and then while they're kind of drying in between, I'll try and get this threaded stud put onto the trusses. Well, the rain's rolled in, no surprise really. That's the last one. So this is all welded now, as well as the other 6. I'll chuck it over there with the rest. Of course not painted, so hopefully we'll get a dry weekend next weekend when I pick it back up again, and I can get these all scrubbed up and protected once and for all. All the brackets got 1 coat of paint, and they did get to at least touch dry before the rain rolled in, so I think they should be all right really. I'll leave them up, and then maybe I'll give them another coat next week if I feel like they need it. Oh, all right. Oh god, that's getting really heavy. God, that's really coming down now. All right, I'll call it there. As always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you at the next one. Cheers.